Physically versus virtually wholesaling real estate. In today's video, I'm going to break down exactly which one is the best, which one you should do, and overall, I'm going to break down the pros and cons of virtual real estate wholesaling and physical, or AKA local real estate wholesaling. What's up, guys? Zach Ginn here, Flip with Rick, and today I was thinking about this question, and I get this question asked a lot, especially with the DMs and through messages, and everyone asks me, Zach, I live in an okay market, but I don't know, should I do some virtual wholesaling? I see a lot of guys on YouTube showing how great it is and how much money you can make doing that, and I can be in my underwear all day and just lock up deals over the phone. And I see other people, maybe like me, who does both. And there's also guys doing only physically virtual wholesaling, and it seems like they get bigger spreads, but it's a little scarier because you have to go in person and actually meet people, and you have to bring through cash buyers, and it might be cheaper to physically do it, or it might be cheaper to virtually do it. I don't know. What should I do, Zach? So overall today, I'm going to break down the pros and cons of both. And really, I'm going to answer the question of which one you should do. And the answer actually might surprise you. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Zach Ginn. I'm a 7-figure real estate wholesaler out of Port St. Lucie, Florida. And I'm not a physical wholesaler or a virtual wholesaler. I usually do a little bit of both. So we're one of the biggest real estate wholesalers in our physical market. And really, it's because it's really dependent on what your physical market is, but we do very well in our physical market, and we've actually ventured out in the past couple of years, and we do 5 virtual wholesaling markets too. So the only way I could make it a 7-figure real estate wholesaling business is if I actually had that virtual component to it. So I think I do very well, over 6 figures doing the virtual wholesaling myself, but I actually have the physical one also, and vice versa. I truly believe both complement each other for my personal business, but it's very dependent. So I really want to break down what makes someone a really good physical market, and if you should do that, or maybe you should go virtual. So let's break into it. Let's get into it, and let's actually do the pros and cons of both and what you should be doing in your market. Whoa. Before I get into it, you already know you got to smash that like button and subscribe so we can help this YouTube algorithm, so we can help more people learn real estate wholesaling absolutely for free. So let's get into it. All right, guys, so virtual versus physical wholesaling. Now, why do I say physical? Everyone says local, and you do local wholesaling, but you can also do virtual wholesaling in your local market. So I think physical is a little better because you're actually physically in front of people, and you're really just literally driving to these appointments. So let's talk about physical and local real estate wholesaling. So that is where my bread and butter is. That's where most of our revenue is. I would say roughly 70 to 80% of all of our real estate wholesaling profits is from physical and local wholesaling. Now, you might shut this video off and say, oh, this guy's just going to talk all good about physical wholesaling. I'm just going to shut this off, and it's going to be very biased. Now, the reason why we do so well in our market is, first of all, our average real estate wholesaling deal in our physical market is $40,000, which is an insane amount for real estate wholesaling. So why is this? Again, it's because we stress rapport. We're really good at destroying our competition. Again, Port St. Lucie is one of the most competitive markets in the state of Florida. Usually our team has to compete with 7 to 8 other wholesalers. And me creating this YouTube channel probably doesn't help me screaming how well Port St. Lucie has been for us. So probably going to be even more and more competition in the coming years, and I'm not really scared of it, but we got to compete with a lot of real estate wholesalers. And why do we get $40,000 deals? Again, it's the right rapport. It's just the way we do business. We have a mastery of this market. Rick's been in this business for 18, 19 years in Port St. Lucie. So we have a huge leg up on all of our competition. So that's why we can go so hard on our local physical markets, because we've been here for a very long time. So physical wholesaling, really, again, so overall physical wholesaling is when we'll do a marketing channel. It could be any marketing channel you have for wholesaling real estate, but really the key difference between this and the virtual is somebody on our team, usually my acquisitions manager, will go meet the seller in person. Now, virtual wholesaling on the other hand is when you actually have the phone and you lock everything up over the phone. Maybe use Dotloop or DocuSign to lock it up, and then we'll find the cash buyer, and I can do it all from the comfort of my home. Now I truly believe that physical wholesaling, you can make bigger margins, but with virtual wholesaling, you can do more volume. So it's a math equation, really. It's how much of a spread you can get multiplied by how many deals you can do. So in virtual wholesaling, you can do more deals, but in physical wholesaling, you get better margins. So it's a yin and a yang. And that's the most important part. But overall, let's stick to physical wholesaling for now. So we actually have to physically meet someone in person. So the big pros for physical wholesaling, you get the bigger margins. So my average virtual wholesaling deal is around $10,000 to $15,000, but I can do a lot more volume. That's for my deals in Central Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee. Those areas in the Southeast, about 10 to 15,000 is our average, but they're actually a little easier to do. So the physical wholesaling, the big pro on it is you get bigger margins. So the average one, I would say, now ours is average is 40,000, but we do some wholetailing. We'll push that profit margin even higher. But I would say the average wholesaler, especially in my market, they're average like 20 to 25. So it's definitely a better margins for physical wholesaling real estate. I would say if you had $0 at all, it would be easier to get into physical wholesaling. So why do I say this? So I think physical wholesaling right now, if I had to start with no money in my bank account and actually had to get everything going, I probably would start driving for dollars or biking for dollars or walking for dollars and then using True People Search to maybe skip trace that and then cold call there from like Google Voice for free. And that's probably one of the best ones out there overall if I had to go in a crazy physical market. Now, if I'm living in Los Angeles, like New York City or San Francisco, probably getting virtual wholesaling. But if I'm in a really good market, Oklahoma City, let's say I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, something like that, physical wholesaling is a really good market. So if I had to start with $0, it's a little harder on the virtual side because you have a better closing rate when you're physically wholesaling. So that's another big one about physical wholesaling is our closing rate is a lot higher. Our margins are higher with physical wholesaling, but we actually give less offers than in virtual wholesaling. So we have a lot less leads and a lot less data in our physical wholesaling versus our virtual one. So the population of my virtual wholesaling market is in the millions and millions and millions. And the population of Port St. Lucie is only like 200,000. I would say the biggest pro for your physical wholesaling market is if you magically, wherever you live, if you live in a rock star physical market, again, like I've said, Nashville, Tennessee, some places in Virginia, like really, really amazing markets, and you're actually physically there and you just happen to live there and you're the local person there, you would absolutely destroy it. So if you're in the right physical market, that is a huge pro. But again, that's the part of the con there is, let's say you live in a terrible wholesaling market. I know you live in like Seattle or a huge metro, Chicago, Illinois, like it's a lot harder to physically wholesale. So it's a pro and a con depending on what market you live in. The last pro for physical wholesaling is you could beat virtual wholesalers on appointments and deals. Now, you don't have the speed advantage. You're a lot slower than a virtual wholesaler, but if the end comes between a $100,000 offer from a physical wholesaler in Seattle versus me who's physically in front of the seller, 9 times out of 10, I can build more rapport just because I'm physically in front of someone. I can use body language and really help share more of a rapport with that person versus a virtual wholesaler. Now, here comes the cons of physical wholesaling. The biggest con, in my personal opinion, is time. Physical wholesaling is a huge time suck. So yes, when you're physically wholesaling, if you have to go around appointments, you got to drive maybe 30 minutes north, 30 minutes south, east, west. You're going to burn the whole day trying to maybe give 4 offers out there versus if I'm virtually wholesaling, I can go out there and probably do 50 offers like crazy and go nuts with the virtual wholesaling. So yes, it's a huge time waste. Physical wholesaling, I'm going to be honest with you, it's a lot more work. Me trying to close a deal, talk a guy or gal into signing a contract over the phone with a virtual appointment is so much less work over the phone than if I have to physically go there, negotiate in person. And really, it's a lot more stressful. It's a lot more work just physically going there trying to close a deal versus doing it over the phone. And not a lot of people talk about this, but dealing with physical sellers, some of them are crazy. You got to deal with nutty situations. You have to actually physically go through the property, and you don't want to walk. Some people don't want to walk through houses that are rat infested with mold everywhere. It's absolutely disgusting. I've been in so many of these situations. There's just some people don't want to deal with it, and it's definitely really annoying and disgusting, honestly, to deal with some of those. But I live for that stuff. I absolutely love it. But for some people, it's a huge con. And lastly, again, what I've said before is if you're in a bad market, physical wholesaling is the biggest con out there. So now we get into virtual wholesaling. So virtual wholesaling, again, I do 5 markets there and people send me deals. I mean, technically it would be 50 markets I do, but people just send me deals and I'll find cash buyers because I'm a very connected person. But really for my virtual stuff, I really keep it to 5, mostly in the Southeast. I do some in the Midwest too. But for virtual wholesaling, I love it so much is because I can get a team and it's really easy to scale. So the reason why I think virtual wholesaling is really cool is I can scale it very easily. I can have people wherever I want in the country close deals for me. Again, technically my physical market here, it's sometimes virtual because I can sit at my home office all day and I can sit here in the office behind a camera and I'm talking right now, but my physical virtual wholesaling market, I have acquisitions people going out and getting deals. They literally just give me the contracts and I sign it. So technically my physical market, I can actually make it virtual because I haven't been in an appointment in months because my acquisitions guys out there actually doing the deals. Maybe I'll run by there and do a quick video showing you what we do, but really you can turn your physical wholesaling into virtual wholesaling by just scaling up and delegating your tasks and just make that acquisitions guy, create marketing people. They can do it all for you. So you can virtually just sit at your office all day and have the deals coming in. It's a lot of work, guys, but really you can turn your physical into virtual by just delegating your tasks. Also, pros of virtual wholesaling is it's fast. If I wanted to go out and get a deal within 5 hours, I would definitely have to start cold calling and going crazy on that. But I could give 50 offers easily in a day if I'm talking to enough motivated sellers and we have enough of the marketing ramped up to get it there. So virtual wholesaling is a lot faster. Everything moves so much quicker when you're doing it. There's no, hey, can I meet you tomorrow for it? You know, we can set up the time. Oh, I got church in the morning. Can I go tomorrow? No, it's in virtual wholesaling. It's like, hey, if we can talk right now, can you make a decision today or like right now? And you can get things going so much quicker in virtual wholesaling. Another huge pro of virtual wholesaling is from the comfort of your own home, you can just be in your pajamas all day and just lock up deals. Pretty cool. That's another huge pro of it. I could live anywhere where I want in the world and virtually wholesale. So I can move to Mexico or the Cayman Islands or, Fiji and still virtually wholesale, which is really cool and really attractive. Because some people don't want to live in their physical wholesaling markets. I don't think there's a lot of people wanting to live in maybe a very rural place or they want to be near a city. And lastly, it's just the scalability of virtual wholesaling is so much better when you get the system in place. You can get VAs almost running all of the virtual wholesaling for you, which is extremely attractive for a guy like me. That's kind of what we're getting the system going for the virtual wholesaling is I'm really out of the business. Same thing which we did in our physical wholesaling is I'm not really doing much all day and everyone's locking up the deals and it's pretty awesome and easy like that. Now, here's some of the cons of virtual wholesaling. So one of the biggest ones is it's pretty expensive or it's cheap. So what I mean by that is virtual wholesaling, it's a lot more expensive if you want to delegate and scale it up because you're going to have to pay VAs to start pulling things. You're going to have to create the systems in place. You can't really do a lot of that cheap marketing. So you can't drive for dollars. You can hire someone, but again, that's a cost. So if I had $500, it's a lot harder to get into virtual wholesaling than versus if I did physical wholesaling. So I can't drive up to a courthouse and get all the lists. Sometimes you get emailed to you, but most of the time, it's a lot harder with not a lot of money getting into virtual wholesaling. Virtual wholesaling, another con is it does require a lot more marketing. You need more data. You need more skip traced phone numbers. In my virtual wholesaling market, I have to text and call tens and tens of thousands of more leads just to get the same amount of deals than I do in my physical wholesaling market. And lastly, like I've said before, you can't really do much sweat equity. I can't really do any bandit signs, no driving for dollars. I can't really do door knocking in virtual wholesaling. So that's another con if you don't have a lot of money. But overall, if I was a betting man and I had to choose which one for you to do, again, I'm going to say you should do both, but overall, it really comes down to this. It's not a black or white, red pill, blue pill type thing. It's really what's your best comfort and what you really want to do. So if you're watching this and you live in Europe, it's probably better you get into virtual wholesaling versus if you live in a very hot market. Let's say you live in Houston or Dallas. So it's really dependent on what lifestyle you want to do for your wholesaling business. And really, there's no difference. You can make $1 million easily virtual wholesaling, and you can make $1 million physically or local wholesaling. So overall, there's no really big difference. In my opinion, I think you should ramp up the physical in your market, maybe make $100,000 to $200,000 a year, start dabbling in the virtual market and just scaling both up at the same time. That's probably the best one. In my opinion, that's the way that I do it. But again, everyone's got different methods and comments for their wholesaling real estate business. But overall, I really wanted to give you a taste of both. And I feel like it's like a political party. You're either on the virtual wholesaling side or you're on the physical wholesaling side. I think you can both merge them together to make an extremely profitable 5, 6, or 7-figure real estate wholesaling business. So I truly appreciate you guys watching this video. If you got any value at all, please, again, smash that like button and subscribe. I really appreciate your support you're giving me here. I hope to see you soon. Have a blessed day.